Mic check, mic check. All right. Looks good to me. Yep. We're good. Good day, everybody. 10 a.m. start time today. We have some news events on the table this morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I want to know what the data was, and clearly we are selling off pretty aggressively. This is nice. I like the shorts. If you go to the higher time frame, so let's take a look at my levels here. I locked in on this one specific 6 hour bearish candle here. You see this wick, right? So we got this engulfing closure. Well, not really engulfing here. It barely missed the engulfing. The next candle shows a continuation where you drive into this candle and give a strong bearish closure. So with that, when I look to my left and I zoom back to the right, you see that price has maintained this range for a very, very long time. There was one retest here back in December, another one at the end of December, and then now we're driving right back into this area. And I like how price is showing that resistance once again. So this could be a nice area for a short, as you can see, right? Price could dump again and again, and then one more time here. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Either this is gonna break, we're gonna hit this all-time high here, or price is gonna maintain all-time highs and you get this like 3 drive pattern here and you can start seeing selling pressure, right? So that's my area of interest for shorts. We're stabbing right into it. If I go to like the 4 hour or the 2 hour, well, the 4 hour, we have this bullish area down here, right? You see how we have this 4 hour fair value gap. You see price driving to it, create this engulfing candle. I like the base of this engulfing candle for buys. Very, very specific point of interest. And then you have also this 2 hour engulfing candle that could be very, very handy for a buy trade, right? So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for buys maybe down here, or maybe a bearish profile to just rip lower and retest some of the bases down here. All right, so when I look at this, we get a nice rejection. Now I'm looking to see, all right, can I get a short underneath midnight price? And underneath all this, I'm going to erase this or move it to the left a little bit just so I can see a little bit clearer here. We know we're in bearish territory and we have some bullish areas that are being hit right now as well. So what I like is, let me check on this data real quick to see what the numbers are, maybe give us a bias and see what we can expect here. So looking at the data, looking at this data, we see that, all right, employment change, negative. So that's under what was expected, which is bad for the markets. And then the jobs comes in under expectations as well, which is bad, right? These numbers right here are signs of a recession if we keep falling short of the expectation, right? 1030, we have crude oil inventories, which that should be positive, right? Because we just took a bunch of oil from Venezuela. So I would assume that's going to be a good report, which can help price, right? So looking at the data, that's pretty bearish. And looking at price right now, right? What do you notice? Price puts in this high. Here, let me do this. Let me go to the 10-minute. Mark off this rejection candle here. I want to see where the point of control is for price right now. We had this low and we pushed into a high. And now this is where price is currently. So the point of control is up at this swing point here, which is pretty solid. And now I want to know, all right, how does price respond now that we've taken out this low? Okay, we have a 930 low. We push to a high like so, right? You go down, make a low, make a high, and now we make a low. So this is the exact reaction that I'm looking to trade. The same trade we took yesterday and the day before and will be the same trade we take all year. All right. So here, let me log into the rest of my accounts here, and cool. Yeah, so I'm looking at how price responds here. If we go to the 5 minute, the point of control is actually down here next to midnight price. We're underneath this EMA here. We have the 10-minute EMA in the mix as well. So this is going to be a good area to just let price get itself together. And sooner or later, we'll know what the deal is. I'll take a peek at NASDAQ, but NASDAQ doesn't really hold too much weight for me this year. After looking at all of my data for the past few years, ES is the better chart to trade. NASDAQ likes to do stupid stuff for no reason. All right. So yeah, looking at this same type of deal makes a high. It looks a little different, but we go to like the 2 minute chart. It should clean up a little bit. Yeah, so this could still be bullish. We'll see. But what I'm looking at is we make this 1 minute chart looks clean. So notice the SMT, right? Notice how NASDAQ takes out this high at 956, but then ES does not. Bearish SMT. However, NASDAQ looks a bit strange, right? This is the first low that was put in here, and we haven't taken out any of these lows. So now you're seeing that bullish SMT here at the lows as well. So you don't really want to get too caught up trying to predict what's going to happen right now, because there's manipulations on both sides of the market here, which is why, like I said, I don't really care for NASDAQ. I'll watch ES. ES will give us the better idea here. So cool. Here we go. We're going to start looking for opportunities. And first things first, I like the short because we've taken out a low, right? That could be our break of structure, or it could be a sweep. So that's going to be the key area here. How does price respond right now? Notice NASDAQ hasn't taken out any highs and it hasn't taken out any lows. So we don't really care what NASDAQ has to say right now. ES should lead the way. All right. So with this, all right, here we go. We get that first order block. I like this order block right here. Let's see what the 1 minute chart looks like. Nice. So what happens is price. Yeah, this is tough. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So what happens on the 2 minute chart looks a lot cleaner. So I'm not really going to focus on the 1 minute here. What I'm seeing is we have a nice expansion higher. Price consolidates a little bit and takes out this low. Now that this low has been taken out, I want to see price offer a drive higher and then return / reject, right? So this is my first order block here. All right, nice. So with this order block, you want to see price offer something like this, where price pushes back into it and shows resistance to go lower, or vice versa. Price pushes through it, shows strength above it, and then pushes back towards the high. All right. That'll be the setup. The one thing I will say is we are pushing into this bullish territory here. Let's look at NASDAQ, see if NASDAQ is even thinking about hitting some bullish areas of interest. All right, let's hide everything. 30-minute, 15-minute. So we haven't hit this area yet. This will be that area I'm talking about. Technically, we don't have to hit it. If ES is in control here, ES could be tapping into bullish territory. As you can see, we are stabbing into that engulfing bar where we got lots of volume to begin with. So yeah, all right, this is fine. If price wants to go bullish here, we're gonna get a nice entry on ES. All right. Yep. High, low, which is, this is essentially a breaker, right? You get the breaker and then you read how price responds once that breaker is formed. And if you're trading ICT, man, the breakers are the most profitable concepts because you involve every part of the market cycle. You get the manipulation, you get the accumulation, you get the breaker structure, you get the retest. Breaker pretty much includes all of that, right? So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for this breaker to offer some sort of volume. All right. I like how we're offering SMT into this very bullish area. And we know that because we're in such a bearish territory, like if we look to our left, notice what happens when price breaks structure in this red area. You get that break of structure, you immediately pull back and fail to make a new high. So if price fails to take out the high, that's telling me that we're about to short and it could be a massive short. And then vice versa, if price is able to take out that high and show structure above it, then we know that price is likely just going to keep going higher towards all-time highs. Same thing here, right? We get in this red zone, you get that pop, price pulls back, gives you that order block, and look at how the order block. The first order block after we take this low, you got the high, the low, the high, and then you make a low, and then you want to see price push up and show some sort of resistance. Here's your resistance right here. Price respects this level. This is your short. And as you can see, the short, you call the top of probably like 300,000 points or something crazy. All right, but this is starting to look pretty bearish here. Yeah, this is nice. Nice. So what'll happen is either price is going to give us a retest and then a short, or price is going to give you that retest and breakout because we have SMT at this low right now. All right, so I'm just looking for price to interact with here and let us know what it wants to do, whether it's going to break out. All right, or is it going to reject? NASDAQ, the reason I can say that we should expect more manipulation is because NASDAQ is on a completely different schedule. Right, NASDAQ's going higher. NASDAQ's still above 10 a.m. And on the other end, ES is way below 10 a.m. So we're chilling right now. And the more it starts to diverge like this, the more you start to think, all right, yeah, we're probably going to go bullish. It's way too out of sync. If this was the real move, these would start to look pretty similar. Right. So I think NASDAQ's going to end up making a new high. If I had to guess, right, I would say NASDAQ maybe makes a new high. Or if it doesn't want to make a new high right now, it'll take out this low. You know what I mean? And then make a new high. And then you'll get something like that. You'll get that breaker. Low, high. I'm sorry, high, low, and then break to go higher. Yeah, this is starting to look like a potential buy. The SMT is starting to get a little bit egregious. Very, very egregious. And then notice, all right, our point of control has shifted. Cool. So let's go ahead and mark off our point of control on NASDAQ. Point of control still up here on NASDAQ. And then we have the point of control. Oh, it looks like it just moved. All right. So yeah, point of control still up at the highs, meaning that majority of the orders are still sitting here, right? So if the orders are still here, why is price showing so much speed lower? You see NASDAQ still hanging around this area. And then you see this one expanding. This looks like manipulation, if you ask me. If you ask me. Sheesh, look at that. Blood. Straight blood. Let's look at the 1 minute. Did the 1 minute offer an entry? Let's see. If we're waiting for this low to be taken, we take that low. Yeah, no. This is our first order block here. You have this up close candle here. I guess it did, yo. The 1 minute is pretty clean. You see how we have this up close candle? An order block is when you have an up close candle followed by an opposing candle. And here we see the up close candle followed by this bearish candle. You mark off the bullish candle. You want to see a closure through it with a retest and then rejection. Yeah. The 1 minute doesn't look bad at all. The 2 minute, if you'll notice, the 2 minute hasn't shown that. So that's why I'm not really too caught up on this idea. If you remember yesterday, I took that 1 minute buy, and the 1 minute buy led price to sweep again. We got a clean 1 minute signal, and then price came back and swept it again. However, the 2 minute setup was absolutely perfect, and you could have avoided that. So I'll be leaning more on the 2 minute setups. All right, so we get this 2 minute order block here. This was at 10:08, 10:10. All right, so now you're looking for a retest of this area specifically, which we should get. Take a peek at the NASDAQ. All right, so notice NASDAQ hasn't shown any sweep of anything. So that's why I can sit here and be patient. I feel no FOMO. I feel no reason to trade because you can see we haven't swept any lower time frame liquidity, right? We created this range and now price is stuck in between it. Once we get that break, we'll know if it's going to be a sweep in reverse or is it going to be a break, retest, continue. All right, so 1 minute chart. Let's see what NASDAQ looks like. So this is that low here. You want to see a sweep of the low. And then you have these highs here. You want to see a sweep of the high before you get involved. So you can go ahead and mark these out. These must be taken before you get involved. All right, cool. So I'm chilling here. Like I said, we do have oil inventory at 10:30. So the real move could literally be waiting for that data. This wasn't bad though. You take this low, you get this push higher, yeah, and then the 1 minute looks clean, but like I mentioned, the 1 minute will lie right to your face. So it's tough to trust it every single day. 2 minute gives you a better chance at avoiding the lies, even though it's still a lower time frame chart, right? So it could still lie to you, but I'd like to trust the 2 minute over the 1 minute, essentially. So we're looking for a low to be put in here. I like where price is driving into right now. We're retesting this 6 a.m. price, retesting this higher time frame engulfing base. And you're seeing a lot of strength here. If we check the 10 minute, maybe that point of control moved. Nope. Point of control is still sitting up here telling us price may want to draw back to here. All right, so keep that in mind. See what the chat is up to today. Let's see what the chat is up to today. All right, cool. Mm-mm. All right, here we go. Now NASDAQ should be pushing towards some lows here. Just waiting patiently, man. But if you ask me, this is starting to look bullish, right? Why do I say that? Because if you notice, price is generating lows and ignoring highs. So if price were to like sweep out these lows here, I'm gonna naturally look for buys off of that. If it fails, that's different, right? Then I can look for a short off a failed reversal. But the first things first is going to be, all right, we're in a range, which side gets swept? That could be my manipulation to go opposite, or it could be a break of structure to go lower, right? Those are the two principles that I'm leaning on this year because it just makes things so much simple, right? If you have a range, you should be asking yourself when price breaks that range, whether it closes through it or wicks it, doesn't matter. As soon as price breaks that range, you need to ask yourself two questions. Is this a sweep that could flip and continue the opposite way? Or is this a actual break of structure, price pulls back, tries to go the opposite way, fails, and then a continuation lower? Right? Those are the only two scenarios. Sometimes you might get something stupid where price sweeps, fails to break out, consolidates, pump fakes, and just consolidates, right? That price action is known as December. We've made it past December. So now I think we're in a phase where price is way more likely to expand and break out, right? And that's what we've been seeing the past week or so. The first week of January has been really nice. You get really solid moves, very little barcode price action. You get the accumulation, of course, that happens pretty much no matter what. But once price is ready to trend, you get that breakout, right? All right, so here we go, right? So now we see price pushing back higher here. This could be a short profile now because we're either going to, once again, we're either going to take out this level, try to go lower and fail and then continue higher, or we're going to take out this high, try to go higher, fail, and then go lower. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I like this area for shorts though. The one catch is, right, we're inside of that higher time frame bearish zone that I showed you guys earlier. And then NASDAQ is not inside of anything bullish right now. The bullish area is way down here. All right. Way down here at 25,788. So if we're going to go bullish, I would expect NASDAQ to retest this level. All right. So that's why the shorts honestly look very, very, very clean. All right. We have a few bullish zones here on ES, but ES could drop a little bit lower as well to the next bullish zone before going bullish. And then NASDAQ can catch up and hit this zone right here before going bullish. All right, so then you have a 4-hour zone, which is way down here. Let's do this. 4-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour, 6-hour. Yeah, so you have a nice distance in between where price is at right now. So we're chilling. We're chilling. Sit on this 2-minute chart. Let price shake out the people who don't have patience right now. It's going to entice you to get involved when there's nothing happening, just so it can take your money, right? And then from there, I'll look to get involved. I like how the EMA is holding up. Notice this previous daily high supporting price right now. I would love to see price just sweep out the highs, man. That'll be that'll be the best setup, I think. The best scenario would be a sweep of the high, pull back, break structure to the low, and then give you that short. Just sweep this high, pull back, take out this low, try to go higher, fail to go higher, and then just continue lower. that is what I would love to see. That's the most ideal setup. This would align with the higher time frame, and it would align with the news data that we got so far. The news that came in was not that strong, right? It's actually bad reports. And then keep in mind, we still have this order block sitting here that will be very important for ES. And then keep in mind, we have this point of control, which is still sitting up here at the upper half of this range. NASDAQ holding that 10-minute EMA, and ES is completely underneath it, right? So one of these is lying to us, and we're about to find out which one. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Price pushing right into the highs here. This could be a beautiful scenario here where we get the shorts with another SMT at the high. And what do you know? We're right around that 1030 mark. So you're going to see this 1030 news play a factor in what's happening here. Really nice, really nice, really nice. I'll actually check on those crude inventories as well, just to see. And I like this rejection off of this bullish area as well. So I got to keep my eyes on the potential flip bullish for ES, right? Because what is the scenario for a bullish move on ES? You'll see it right here. It'll be, we put in a low, right? So you have the breaker at the low now. You have the low, the high, the low. And then if we make it through this high, retest this order block, show strength above it, price will push to the next level, right? And that'll be my trade. But as you can see, starting to get rejection already off of this level. So I would hope for shorts, bro. If we can catch this short, we're already underneath the midnight price for ES. This short would be a banger, I would say. So I'm going to sit back here and look at this data real quick. So the news just came out. And as I mentioned, the oil inventories are literally 3 times the expectation. Look at this. We just robbed Venezuela like some bandits. Some bandits. And the oil inventories are very, very green here. $3.8 million. Forecast was -2, which I don't know how this reads, but I know this is a green number, which is supposed to be good, right? And that's that. So I'm watching price closely here. Okay. I may have to use the 1 minute here if price tries to move too fast. But I can see, all right, we're taking out internal highs here. I would love to see NASDAQ take out this high here. But we are starting to generate lows, right? Internal lows as well. So now we're making an internal high. We could push back towards this internal low as well. And I'll be looking at how price responds from there. Just looking for that one strong drive higher here. What's so funny, Pepe? Oh, sorry. I just saw your question. So, point of control. Point of control is what you want to do is how I draw it up is All right, if I have a higher time frame level of resistance, which remember I had that 6 hour level, that higher time frame level up here, I'm just looking for some type of rejection. So if I start seeing 10-minute bearish closures off of that higher time frame level, so like here, for this is a perfect example. I could draw it up. Let's say if I didn't have any bearish levels up above, I have my engulfing zones here, right? These green zones. Now that I see price showing strength out of it, I would go to the most recent swing, and then I would pull up the two. So this will be the most recent swing before we started seeing rejection. And then it'll give you this point of control here. And if you want to add the point of control, if you look on the top left, right, you'll see top left, it'll be over here next to your projections, your long position, short position. If you go down, you'll see fixed range volume profile. Click on that. And like I said, you do your levels on the higher time frame, and you wait for price to hit those levels on a 10-minute chart and show some type of rejection. This is a beautiful rejection. So I would go to the most recent swing and then click on the candle that we're currently on, and price will show you where the most orders are sitting, which is the point of control. All right. NASDAQ should have made a new high by now. Perfect. All right. So now this will show us exactly what price wants to do. We take out this high. I can erase all these other levels here. And now I'm just looking for price to literally do exactly what I drew here. I want to see it take the zone here, make a low, try to go back higher, and fail. And I'm going to be looking to short it. If price just keeps going higher, there's no reason for me to get involved. Just wait for price to break or sweep. Right? That's the key. That's the key for these ridiculous markets. When price pretends like it's picking a side, right, which is the breakout, once you see price initiate some sort of move, you have to wait for a pullback to a previous low, in this case right here, right? You see how that would open the door for a true trade idea? If you wait for this high to be taken, start paying attention to the lows, right? We have a low here, and we have a low down here. We have a low here. When price pushes back to that low, it's either going to be a sweep and then continue, right? Like a lot of times you'll see if it's really bullish, it'll just sweep that low and then continue bullish, right? Or it's going to be a break in structure where you take that low, fail to go higher, and then continue lower. Those are the only two scenarios that are worth trading. So here now, remember, I already had a clean setup on the ES. So I can start looking for buys. I'm ignoring NASDAQ. I don't care what NASDAQ is doing anymore. I like the fact that ES swept the low. You see this low right here gets swept. We push back into the order block. That was a very key component if we were bearish. We're closing above it. So now all I need to know is, can price give me a fair retest to show that it's truly bullish? Just push back into this area, show me that it doesn't want to go lower, and I'll buy it. If price rips right through this zone, I don't really care. It's a simple break and retest right now. And let me go to 1 minute just to see where we are. All right, yeah, so nice. Look at it. We have, let me take this off here. Price, notice price also pushing right back to that point of control. Beautiful. So if I erase this, right, if I'm looking at the 1 minute, what low was swept? Here goes your low. This is a great example, right? We sweep this low, and now I want to see price push up and show, wow, it even gave you, the 1 minute gave you a buy signal here where you see price break this low. Actually, no, let me stop. I need to see a high being made. The only way you can take a bullish trade is if it breaks a high, right? So yeah, this was off of sell structure, right? That's why I would take this buy, because this is invalidating sell structure. But if you had no sell structure and you were to just stick to the fundamentals, you say, I want to see a low being swept into my higher time frame bullish area. Here's our bullish area marked off in green. Where's the low? This is the low. Once this low is taken, I need to see price make a high. here goes your high right here. We're making that high right now. With this high being made, you want to see price pull back into some sort of order block. What's an order block? Where you see price try to go lower and form a high. There's your order block right there. There's another one where price tries to go lower and goes higher instead. There's another order block right here. All right. So these are the areas where you would look for a buy. You want to see price pull back into here, nowhere else. Disregard the gaps, disregard everything in between. I want to see price pull directly into these order blocks and show me that it just does not want to go past those order blocks. Then I can place my trade and target the next high. Very simple, right? On the contrary, we've seen price take out this high right here, right? Price takes out these highs and then reverses back to this low. So if we're bearish, it's the same concept, right? If we're bearish, you would want to see price take the low like it did here, print some sort of order block, which I highlighted in yellow, okay? And once we get that order block to print, you want to see retest, which is happening right now, but you don't want to see this. You don't want to see price close comfortably through that order block. That's an invalidation. Oh, what just happened, yo? How do I determine the bullish and bearish areas? Oh, it's just I'm just using higher time frame engulfing candles. So every one of these green zones here are like a 4-hour engulfing, right? You see how we had this 4-hour engulfing candle here? So this the wick of that 4-hour engulfing is where you're gonna get the most buying pressure, right? Very simple. And then I'll use like a 2-hour sometimes as well. So a 2-hour engulfing here, you see the wick here, this is where you're gonna get the most buying pressure. Same thing down here. There's another zone here. All the way through, right? So here was a good example. We had this bullish zone right here. Look at where all the buying pressure comes from. This 2-hour engulfing. If you waited for price to get back into here and started looking for structure, bingo, you call the bottom. And we're about to take this trade here. You can see that this wick is very manipulative, but it's not closing through my order blocks. So the moment we start showing more bullishness, I'm going to take this buy here. Let's see here. This is very clean. NASDAQ should have offered. Oh, wait, let's wait because NASDAQ just broke structure too. So look, let's take a look at this, right? This is nice. I like this. Volume is at a high. I need to get ready. Hold on. This is still bullish. I don't think it's bearish just yet. Let me pull up my contracts and just be ready just in case. So if I were to take this trade, right, I'm looking for a closure. I would say a closure through this massive bearish candle here. This right here is scary. So if I get that closure, I'll get underneath really just enough for a 1-to-1. So if I'm targeting this high, my stop is going to be identical. So if I'm going for 7 points at the high, I'm just going to do a 7-point stop, give myself a chance to catch it without having to put a massive stop loss, right? If I get stopped out, then it's probably going to go the other way anyway, and I can just flip my position, right? So here, what am I noticing? I noticed that this sell-off, it hit off of this previous daily high. So this could end up going back bearish. I need to watch NASDAQ now and hope it gives me a little bit of context, because we don't have any bullish setups over here on NASDAQ. All right, all we have is a sweep of a high, and as soon as we swept that high, what do you notice? We take out the lows beautifully. Are we hitting any higher time frame zones? No, we're not. There's no real buying volume that's on the table for NASDAQ. I don't see any engulfing candles being retested. So with that being said, in my mind, I'm like, all right, this could be a short. Let me get ready for a short as well. Because if we do it simply put, right? Just look at the structure. You're looking for a breaker every time you see price take out a high or a low. So we took out this high, you want to see price immediately go back to the lows. That's exactly what happens here. So now that we do that, you want to see price push higher, like right now, push higher and then fail. Give you an order block, fail to go higher, and then break lower. And this is where your shorts are confirmed. All right, so I'm actually still pretty confident in these shorts. It all depends on how ES responds here. Because remember, I'll probably wait for price to, yeah. Because if you notice, I already have 2 order blocks here for the bullish setup on ES. Remember, we swept this low, take out this high, and we left 1 order block, 2 order block, right? We got some decent rejection from here and from this low. So if price tries to go back bullish, this could still be bullish. All right, so here goes that order block. Sweeps the low. There goes your order block here on NASDAQ. Order block is present on the 1-minute chart. All right, why is this an order block? Because once we sweep this high and we take a low, the order blocks are going to form once you try and attempt to go higher. So once we attempt to go higher, I'm looking for bearish candles to follow, and that's my order block. And you can see we're slamming off of this. I'm going to short this. Yeah, I'm going to short this. Let's go to 2-minute. If I can get a 2-minute closure through. So we had boom, 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 order block, close through. Yeah, look at how midnight price is being a factor here. I'm going to short this. Let's draw this up here. I'm looking for a strong closure there, and I can get a short with like 10 points here, or like 9 points, even better. And then I'm looking for, oh, don't sell. Yeah, I'm going to short this. 9 points is how many contracts? 9 points would be 11 micros. 11 micros. I'll probably go like 13 here, just so I can make a little bit more on this trade. All right. So what I'm looking for now is, can we get some sort of sell signal over here on the NASDAQ, right? So we got the order block being retested right now, which is perfect. I'm happy that it's not trying to run away here. It's giving you a legitimate drive back into this sell zone here, so I can be patient. I hate feeling like I got to rush into a trade, man, because those are the ones that usually slap you in the face. But my entry price will probably end up being 69.81. Another strong move lower here. I'm just going to take it. 69.81. Let me type this up and get ready. And notice I'm being very patient, right? Because we have a clear area of interest. If this area doesn't hold up, let's see, take this low, push back up, order block, right? Yeah, we're still inside of this order block. Being very patient here. If price gets back above this yellow zone for ES, then the buys are for sure the next move, because we're holding this, right? Remember this order block here that I drew up for the buy? Notice how price is beautifully holding it right now. If we're going to be bearish, I want to see a closure underneath here, which why my trade would be pretty much 81s. Okay, yeah, this is starting to look like it might try to rip. Nice. And if we do rip, it'll be because of that oil data, bro. The oil came in 3 times higher than expected. And I guess that's all people care about, because the job report was terrible. We'll see, though. This is it right here. This is the moment of truth. If we're patient enough, hopefully it doesn't run without us. This should give us a clean entry here, because we got a bullish profile that's holding, and we have this bearish profile that's holding as well. The one thing that makes me lean more bearish is we haven't seen anything bullish on NASDAQ. We swept the high, pulled back, right? Now, if we start flipping this zone here, that's going to be bullish. But so far, we swept the high, pull back, take out the low, perfect profile, and then we put this order block here, which should hold. We also have this bearish gap on top of the order block, which could be what price is doing right now. Maybe just drive into the gap and then sell off. So I want to be patient here. If we get a little bit too strong here, let me draw up a contract size for the buys just in case, because we did close above it. We pulled back. We put this down close candle followed by an up close candle here. So we start closing above this zone. I'll put my stop below this, maybe like 7.5 points. But it's tough to buy up here, man. We're in very bearish territory, like I mentioned, right? So if you're gonna buy, you need, oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, if we're gonna buy it, we gotta buy it above this, a strong close above here, which would be 6990.5. I'll go 7, 13 contracts. Let's see if we get that closure, because this is clearly breaking out now, right? You see the breakout, this order block failed. I'm looking for the same thing here on ES. Gotta be careful here, man. Just be patient, man. If I'm zoomed in here, you can see 930 price is in the way. A strong closure back above 930. We should be free to go higher. 6990.5. Yeah, this is starting to look bullish now, right? Notice the zones that are holding up. Look at the speed higher. All right, yeah, time to get in here. Yeah, let's see if we get this closure here. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna long this right here. I'm long at 6990. Let me type this up here real quick. Oh, bro, we might try to run. Put this TP in. Wow, as I'm trying to type it up, I might be able to get it. Hold on, let me type this up. So yeah, I'm looking for this high up here, which would be about 8.5 points. And then this is tough because we're getting such bullish pressure here. If we're actually bullish, it's gonna rip past this high. It'll probably go to all-time highs. All-time high way up here, 20 points. So let's see if we actually can break this previous daily high here. What did NASDAQ do? Oh wait, sorry, let me look at NASDAQ over here. Let me look at NASDAQ showing any resistance at this high right now? No, we just take the high, no problem. EMA in control. Let's take a look at the 10-minute point of control now, see what price is looking like. Point of control should be back down on the lower end by now. If we're truly bullish. Yep, there it is, right? You see how the point of control just shifted? It was bearish down here. I mean, up here. It was sitting up here. And now you see the point of control magically just reposition itself down here. And this is where you want to be placing your stop underneath that point of control, just in case price wants to retest that for some more power. But the fact that we're even getting a bullish profile, either price is going to take this high and sell off very aggressively, right? Or price is going to break through this high, and I think the next draw would be all-time high. But you guys know me, I'm not the type of trader to try and hold for that big of a move. If we can get this high right here, that'll be enough for me. But so far, I like the setup. NASDAQ seems to be leading the way today. Let me go look at NASDAQ a little bit closer here because okay, yeah, NASDAQ is nowhere near all-time highs. So we'll probably end up taking out this high or something. All right, put an alert here. NASDAQ will probably end up taking out this high, or maybe even taking out these relative equal highs, right? And then maybe ES goes to all-time highs and NASDAQ doesn't even get close, right? Yeah, I could see that happen. I could see that happening. Yeah, you can see NASDAQ's leading the way as if it just wants to sweep out some liquidity. These are relative equal highs. This is a swing high here. All right. And because price ignored this low, then yeah, you should anticipate NASDAQ to at least take out this high here. All right. So yeah, I would say we probably, at the very least, take out this pre-market high, this 6 a.m. high, I should say. The next hour or so should take out this high. But then if you look to your left, there's no other really important swing points besides all-time high for ES. Right. And then you notice that if you go look at the options chart, the SPY is already at all-time highs. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, so if you look at the options chart, which is a little bit different than futures, right? You can see that we're already at all-time highs on the options chart, and we're still showing bullishness on futures. So that's telling me that there's probably a good chance that we are going to hit this all-time high here, which is how many points away? Is that all-time high? Yeah, all-time high is sitting right here. I might target it. It looks a lot better. If you go to the higher time frame, it doesn't look that far away, right? It's like right here. So let's see what happens. I'll obviously manage my trade once we get any kind of move above here. Did I make an alert for it? I did. So yeah, any move above this high, I'll manage it. But if price tries to like run and get aggressive above here, I may just let it go because there's a nice gap. It'll be like a 10-point swing, right? Instead of 8 points, we could get maybe 20 points or something like that. So yeah, that's the profile. I don't really see much else going on here. So it's just a matter of, let me put my stop in, put a safe stop in and just let the trade go, man. Decent read on price so far. Where will my stop be? Stop is supposed to be about 8 points max. Underneath midnight, sitting at 69.82. 69.82. Yeah, just pick a safe stop underneath midnight, underneath this order block here that was propelling price higher. And we had this order block as well that was holding price. We got a wick underneath it, which is fine. Hopefully that kills the manipulation, right? Hopefully that prevents price from returning because we've already wicked down into it. We retested that wick, retested the order block and showed more strength. So now this is where you want to see like a delivery, break this previous daily high, and then just storm through these highs over here. All right, so I'm just gonna zoom in on ES here. I have an alert, I believe, on NASDAQ to make sure that, yeah. So this higher time frame level to our left, which is the only higher time frame point that's still available, sitting at 25,930. It's like 25 points away. So I'll have an alert there to see how price responds. And let's see if there's a previous daily candle in that area. Yeah, so this Friday high from December 26th is what I would essentially want to see NASDAQ take out today. And if price shows any strength above that, then you have another daily high sitting there. Maybe even a 6-hour high. Yeah, I would go 6 hours. So like here, this is the dealing range. I want to see speed through these highs. All right, cool. Stop is in, everything is in. Let's all right, so like that's where like it's the market is playing both sides, right? You see how we have SMT at the low. Let me go NASDAQ. All right, so you see how we have this SMT at the low. Let's, erase some of this. SMT at the lows where we don't even sweep this. Wait, where's the SMT? MNQ, MNQ. All right, yeah. So if you look, these lows over here are destroyed on ES. NASDAQ doesn't even get close. But then you have SMT at the high where it's like, oh, what if we try to sell off of these highs? So far, there's no structure to back the bearish SMT right now. So if it does try to sell off, there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can be like, oh, I missed the trade. I'll just have to accept it because I don't see any structure here for me to short NASDAQ or for me to short ES, knowing that we're breaking these internal highs, closing past them, maintaining lows, right? So that's telling me that this high should be taken out because this is a fake SMT, and then this low should be protected because this is a real SMT based on structure, right? So that's why I think it's important to just hold this setup until we at least take this high here, and this will be TP1 here. Make that green. Yeah. All right. And I guess we could flip this, maybe watch NASDAQ just a little bit to make sure NASDAQ doesn't act weird. We want to see NASDAQ continue to show their strength. We broke that previous week high here. I don't think there's much of a reason to go back below it because if you notice, the EMA is now caught up with price. The EMA is breaking that. The 10-minute EMA is bullish. 5-minute EMA is bullish. We do have this 5-minute gap here. If price wanted to fill that in, that could be, So yeah, zoom over to ES, sit back. I hate that we're seeing so much static here at this 10 a.m. price, but we already know that that's just how the market moves. You're supposed to see some sort of rejection off of these types of 4-hour open prices. You just don't want to see too much rejection, right? If it pulls back a little bit and then hits the EMA and then starts to bounce, or pulls back, fills in a gap, and then starts to break, then that's a really good sign for higher. All right, so that's the case there. That's my spiel. Good patience, I would say. Now we're just waiting for price to show that decisiveness towards the high here, because we've already made our move towards the lows, and you can see price completely reject these lows. Just don't want to see any manipulation again, right? Because if price were to drive down here and stop me out before taking the high, that'll be dirty. So dirty. All right, cool. So there goes some speed. I got some alerts set. I'm just gonna put an alert here. I think I already have an alert there. And then just wait it out. If price does get way up here, I doubt if I'll hold it. I'll probably get out for like a 1 to 2 here. Let me mark this off. Where's a 1 to 2 at? My stop is about 8 points, 7.5 points. So 14 points would be probably the max I would hold this. I probably won't even hold it that far, to be real. So I'll set this as TP2. And any of you guys that are in the the strategy coaching, if you need any help, you know what I mean, if you have any questions with what I'm doing and the adjustments that I've made, always feel free to just message me and I'll sit down with you, help you understand what's happening. Because really all we did, we went over how we're gonna use our higher time frame zones, right? Those engulfing candle zones, those 4-hour candles, those 6-hour candles, 2-hour candles. And all I'm doing now is implementing the breaker, the ICT breaker on the lower time frame, along with like the 10-minute, right? So remember, we could use structure on the 10-minute chart to identify where price is going. And you can see here, even if we were using what we talked about in the strategy where we push into a bullish zone, we pull out our volume, we see the volume is down here, we see that there's clear resistance right here to our left, right? What happens when price breaks that resistance? You could be buying it right now, targeting the high. So support and resistance still works fine. It's just you always have to have that lower time frame model because when the market starts to move, right? Like when we start seeing price actually start making big moves, you won't have much time to think. And that's that's why you need like a solid lower time frame model so that you don't miss the best setups. And then once we get back to like December time, I'll stop using the lower time frame completely because the lower time frame will be chopped up and a waste of time. And then you can stick with like the 10-minute chart. You know what I mean? So it's just really making sure you're on the right tempo with the market. January is typically really fast and sharp moves, so that's why I'm using my lower time frame approach. Later on, it will not be this fast, it'll be trash. And then from there, you'll just make that adjustment, right? So I like that we broke 10 a.m. here. I think we're in the clear. I think this is the type of trade where you just sit back because who knows how long it'll take. It's officially 11 o'clock now. I want to see some speed inside of these macros. So this is the 1050 macro. If you noticed at 1050, we took out this internal high right here. So if we can see some speed above this high, above 10 a.m., we should be able to hit TP within the next 10, 15 minutes. All right, so checking back in on it, looks like price is just stuck, which is trash. I don't get it. But I guess if I'm looking for references, for me to use as maybe a sign to get out early and just maybe wait, I'm looking at this previous daily high. I don't want to see price get too comfortable below it. Right? We saw a lot of selling pressure off of it once. We get above it, and now I'm like, all right, well, where's all that volume? We should see the same type of reaction, whether even if it's bearish, right? We should see some sort of reaction off of this level. We broke it, tried to go higher, and now you see price starting to reject it. I may get out of this trade, guys, if I see too much selling pressure underneath here, and just wait for another setup, bro. Because I'm not I'm not gonna be a sitting duck in this situation where price clearly tried to go higher, and now it just looks like it's not going anywhere. It would be unfortunate if price does pull back deep and then try to go higher and I get stopped out. So I would rather get out here. Yeah, let me start getting out. Let's see. Starting to get a little bit too comfortable underneath the previous day high here. So I don't think I want this anymore. Hoping that price just randomly finds some support. But as you can see, bro, this is starting to just be a waste of time. So manage things accordingly. Come on, shorty, just get from around this area. Like, go play around somewhere up here. So it's one thing if we're not bullish, then I get it, right? But if we're bullish, this is just a scam. Price decides it just wants to waste all this time in here before blasting off. Scam activity. But if price wants to go bearish, then I can see, all right, we take out this high here, push to this low. Yeah, just be ready to get out of this. I want to see speed, right? The same type of speed we saw on the way down, same type of speed we saw here once again. I want speed. We got a nice bullish reaction, right? But we haven't taken out any highs. So this pullback should be very shallow. But it looks like we're starting to get a little bit too comfortable underneath this previous daily high here. So I think I'm not really a fan of this. Just need to see a sharp turnaround right now. Like, otherwise, I'm probably going to get out. So trash, bro. Yeah, now price is just struggling off of this EMA here. Could be a low in here that price wants. Price could maybe even want to start taking out 30-minute lows, 15-minute lows. So yeah. Moment of truth right here. I think it's already starting to show us that it's losing that bullishness. Yeah. Yep, I'm out. See you later, alligator. I'm out here. Early exit here. Let VIP know. Yep, early exit there. Get out of my face. And I'll actually start looking for the short because this is starting to play stupid games. There we go. All right, let's start getting ready for a short here. Such a scam, bro. So how will I draw up this buy? No, I don't even want the buys anymore, bro. Even though it could still go bullish, I don't want any buys unless price can get back above this previous daily high, previous 10 a.m. price point. Then I'll probably buy it with a stop below here and just take like a quick scalp for like 1 hour, buy for 5. but I would prefer the short. You have much more to target down below. So let's start looking at that, right? Where was my confirmation for higher? My confirmation for higher was based on this sweep. Let me draw it back up again. Sweep. And then we immediately flip and take that high. Once we take that high, you're looking for price to push down and turn. Here's your order block right here. I guess we haven't retested this order block yet. Maybe that's what price is doing here. So maybe we do end up with another buy. But we take this low, take the high, pull back. This is where price flips bullish. We break 10 a.m., break the previous day high, and now we're pulling back. All right, the 1 minute chart, sweep, sweep, order block, order block. Yeah, all of this is bullish. So where was my confirmation for NASDAQ? Boom, boom, boom. All right, so NASDAQ. Okay, yeah, so NASDAQ was the opposite. Instead of giving us a buy signal, it gave you a sell signal that was invalidated. So we had the sweep of the high, sweep of the low. And then you see price give you this order block here, which hasn't been retested either. So maybe that's all price is doing here, looking for a retest opportunity. And if I'm looking at a bullish narrative, you could say price swept these lows, takes out the high. And then we're looking for a drive back in to create that order block. Boom, boom. Here's an order block, bearish candle followed by a bullish candle. Should be bullish. And as you can see, all right, here we go. So this retest right here will say a lot. We sweep this high, sweep the low, put the order block in where we try to go bullish, come back bearish. Here's your order block right here. This bullish candle. See if price can retest it and then go higher. If so, that'll be the last confirmation I need for higher. And I'm looking for like a reason to short here, but I don't see any reasons to short. Everything still looks bullish. You know what I mean? Like everything looks bullish until we can start closing through here on the ES. And then same thing for NASDAQ until we can get up under this level here. There's no reason for me to think price is bearish just yet. But maybe we get another setup where you see price take out this high, take out this low. Now we're looking for a drive higher with the order block. Here's your order block right here now. If we're bullish, you're going to see price sweep a high, immediately go to the low. And then once that low is taken, you want to see price try to go higher and fail. Here's your attempt to go higher right now. I'm looking for a bearish candle followed. Yeah, this is starting to look like it might be bullish again, guys. Let's see here. So if I'm bullish, I want to see price drive into here with a bearish candle. This is a doji candle. Yeah, if I'm bullish, I want to see price offer an order block after tapping into here and then just break through the order block. This just looks extremely bullish. All right, notice we retest this previous weekly level and immediately stop. All right, notice we have, yeah, I'm gonna get ready for another buy, guys. Avoided some drawdown, got out break even, and now let's see if price can close back above this previous daily high. And I'm looking for a stop below here, like 7.5, maybe 8 points, because we should be able to get 8 for 8 here. Oh no, 7 for 7. I'll go 7 points just because my TP is 7 points. Decent close above that previous daily high. So let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Because what I'm looking for is, all right, now that we've taken this low, let's go to 1 minute. Maybe we have some here. We take this low, we take this low. Where's your drive higher? Here's one. You have a 1 minute order block sitting right here. That's bearish, right? You want to see that get taken out, right? Price takes this low, attempts to go higher and fails. So now if we retest this and break it, you look for a retest. If it holds the retest, it's going to go higher. All right, same thing here. We already had a few attempts to go higher. We closed through it, pulled back into it, continue higher. Now this is the only other rejection point left. All right, and then on the 1 minute over here, we have that order block that gets pretty much closed through. Yeah, we're gonna look for buys if we can get above here. And that'll be my last attempt. It's 11:30. You don't want to see price continue to be lazy and do nothing. All right, we might have to wait for that 12 o'clock volume, similar to yesterday. But I think it's starting to show that strength here. All right, so we got like a 2 minute slight closure past that previous daily high. Let's see how price responds now. And this one is interesting because, like I said, we do have this SMT up here. So if I'm bearish, I would want to see price take this high right here on ES and then push all the way back to this low here before I even think about shorting. And you can see that there's not enough selling pressure to take these lows. All right. So it's like, all right, I don't really care for the bearish SMT. Let's look at the bullish SMT. The bullish SMT, we sweep out these lows here and we ended up making new highs. So now it's like, all right, if we can maintain this leg up, the buys, you're on the right side of the market if you're looking for buys right now. Just gotta wait, man. Wait for the shenanigans to expire, and then maybe price expands, maybe not. But so far this week, price has been expanding pretty solidly. So nice rejection off of this EMA. Did we fill any gaps on the way down? Nope. 10 minute, 5 minute. Yeah, so I think it's very obviously bullish. It's just a matter of if it's really going to go anywhere right now. Bearish SMT, we make a new high, that's fine. We make a new high, that's fine. We take out lows on NASDAQ. We haven't taken out any lows on ES. So I think it's very obviously bullish. And then there we go. We finally get this 2 minute order block. And I think the 1 minute order block is being closed past on NASDAQ. Right, so you want to see this sweep a high, make a low, attempt to go higher. Hey, nope, stop it. Attempt to go higher here, fail. Now this is where the short should maintain control, and you see price close above it, retest this bullish candle, which is from high to low. We retested it, show more strength. Now we're retesting it again. We also have EMA support in this area. So a clean break of this high right here is pretty much all you need for upside. Elijah, stop. Come here. No, cool. So yeah. Also, if you notice, we have this unmitigated bearish gap right here. So you're supposed to see selling pressure as always, right? When you see a bearish gap, you want to see some sort of rejection at first, and then you just don't want to see it get too bearish. You want to see it pretend to be bearish and then completely absorb. And then notice that 5-minute wick is also aligned with this breakout here as well. So once price absorbs these sellers, pretends to be bearish, and we start closing above here, I think that should open the floodgates for higher. You just have to wait, because as long as price is underneath this wick, underneath this gap, it could go as low as it wants to go, and you don't want to get caught in that. You know, if it truly is bearish, this gap will hold up and it'll just keep going lower. So you don't want to be off sides there. 5-minute EMA does look tricky, right? You see the EMA starting to reject price here. So it's just a matter of just waiting this one out, man. I love the rejection from the order block here. Like if I zoom in on ES, nothing about this tells me to look for a short whatsoever. You have a sweep of the low. We immediately flip the high. You pull back and you create that order block that you should be using for your trade, right? You have a drive, bullish reaction, a drive, bullish reaction. This is where you're getting that bullish pressure. And then we drive back into it. I'm looking for some sort of order block. There goes an order block here that was created, but you want to see price is, unless this is bearish, I don't know, looks like a doji, but you want to see price drive into your area with a bearish candle and then respond with the bullish candle. So like if this is the order block, you want to see this hold up and then just start breaking structure, which is tough because this looks like a doji. What is that? Maybe 1 minute. Okay, yeah, the 1 minute gives you a clean answer. There's a bearish drive, bullish. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this. A strong close above here. I'm gonna buy this based on this 1 minute. I just want to see price get back above this previous daily high, show some strength. 5-point stop. I'm gonna use a tighter stop because of what time it is. All right, yeah, let me get in here. Oh, I got a bad feel, but and I'm gonna actually add some contracts here. Oh wait, clear. Yeah, I'm gonna add some contracts here. Add some contracts, tighter stop. I'm only gonna do like a 5-point stop here. I don't want to see price get back down in there. We've wasted a ton of time. So I'm just gonna look for price to try to take this high now. Elijah, get down, buddy. This boy thinks he's Spider-Man. Moving pretty fast here. What price did I get? Boom, boom, boom. 66.93. See if I can type this up here. Might be over with. I don't want to see it come back, so VIP may be out of this one. If it does come back, I will alert VIP, but 66.93 might be back right here. Yeah. So I'm only gonna go 5 points on the stop, which would be 18 micros. I need to add in more, bro. I need way more than crap, yo. I need more contracts. It's not gonna be $500. Nasdaq, yo, you love, bro. Nasdaq knows how to get you, bro. Let's see if it comes back. If it comes back, I'm gonna add into this. If not, whatever. Yeah, 5 points would be 18 micros. Wow, bro. This should come back. Actually, no. It might not come back. This might be it. What's NASDAQ doing? You see the breakout here, right? This is your entry on NASDAQ, but I don't care for NASDAQ. Like I told you guys, 2026 will be dedicated to ES. This would be your trade here if you were trading NASDAQ, 20-point move. There goes the speed here on ES. I should have just added in, man. You see how stupid this is? I guess it didn't retest this order block, so that's not really surprising, right? We got in up here, it didn't retest yet, and then now you get that retest. Hopefully we get some speed here. Let's see. I'm gonna look for some speed. Let's go. All right. Oh yeah, we might actually get not 500 out of this. Maybe one more point here. I don't think it's done. As much time as it wasted, but you got to be careful at this high also, bro. Hold on, let me be smart here. I may take my 400, guys. Oh, I hate when it does stuff like this, bro. It gets right to the high and then just stops. Oh my goodness. And it's gonna give you this stupid pullback and make you get out, and then it never really intended to stop here. It's just keep going, yo. Great trade. Oh my goodness, bro. I'm starting to think I got the markets figured out. I'm really starting to believe that. As long as the market is moving, we should make money. But I think I'm going to take this 5. If I see 500, I'm out, guys. VIP, I'm sorry you did not catch this one. As soon as I started to type it up, it ran away. How much am I sitting at over here? Yeah, I think I'm going to start cutting this. Come on, give me one more pop. Instead, it'll probably go the opposite way, yeah. $400, I got to cut. Dang, yo, I hate this, bro. Because I wasn't able to get my full size. I wanted to make at least 600, $700 today. But maybe we get it. Oh, yes. Come on. Show me something like NASDAQ. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to cut this on the next pullback. It might not stop, guys. We might have caught a banger here. It might not stop, guys. It might not. Look at NASDAQ. Oh, NASDAQ is going to edge us, so I'm going to cut this at 5. You know what? I'm going to put this down here. What? It just cut me out. I'm out. I'm out, guys. Easy 500 today. Great read on price, guys. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Look at it go. I'm going to leave one of my accounts running here. Hopefully this just keeps going. NASDAQ would have been the better trade somehow. NASDAQ is stronger today. But on the higher time frame, ES is a lot stronger, so I think we're good. walking away with 7 points here. There goes. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna take that there. I think I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. Bingo. That was a good $800 trade there. And I'm out. Yeah. Leave me alone. I think it keeps going, but like I said, who cares? Take your cut of the pie and enjoy the rest of your day. We're done by 11:46. If we can keep this type of volume, I promise you guys, this may be the biggest year we could ask for. Looks like a 2R here on Nasdaq. And if you're reading the lower time frame, Nasdaq was the better one to buy here, right? You see, I only got 1.5 R on my ES trade, 5 points for 7.5. Meanwhile, you get a clean 40 points with a 20-point stop underneath here, right? And also, you see how we were able to draw this up by just paying attention to how price responds after sweeping a high or a low. We understood that now that we took out a few lows, you wanted to see price generate order blocks and maintain those order blocks. If those order blocks fail, you're going to see price break it, like we mentioned, right? This is textbook. You're going to see price break it, retest it, fail to get back underneath it, and break it again. There goes your buy signal. This is where I entered on ES, right? The breakout here. And you shouldn't expect price to go back lower, especially when you look at the clock and you notice that it's almost 12 o'clock and we've offered multiple divergences at the lows. We've offered the retest of the key order block here on ES. This is where you need to get in and you need to be quick, because look at how it tries to go without you, right? This definitely tried to snake us out, stop us out, and then try to go. But I think we've pretty much got the market in our hands for right now, at least. For right now, don't get too confident, right? But for right now, we're seeing it very well. Great trade today, Mr. Rock. And I'm gonna add this to my notes, and I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure all these orders are gone. Not need some ghost orders triggering. Perfect. 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 Sign out. All right, cool. I'll post the P&L here as well, so you guys can see. Took a couple of trades here, but one trade was slightly a loss, around break even, $30, and then the other was what we see here. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna add this to my notes. I think price continues higher, guys. That's just my bias, but we're starting to take out these higher time frame levels, right? Remember, we had this level marked out on Nasdaq. And then if we're showing bullishness up here, I really do think that we're going to hit that all-time high, which is still pretty far away, but that's just what I'm thinking, right? I could be wrong. It may not hit it today, but I think that was a really good position. Elijah, get out. Come here. All right, there we go. Let me exit out of that. And as you can see, the news was literally the main component that set this up. The oil numbers are the only numbers that were positive, and you see the market literally rally off of those numbers. All right, really nice. All right, let me go over here. So yeah, good start to the year. I'm up about $1,900 this week, and just keeping it simple. Start the year 500 to maybe 700, $800 max per trade. I'm not looking for too much per session right now, right? But once you build up a buffer, let's say this month goes really well and we're averaging like 2K a week, then next month I can start doing $1,000 trades or 800 to $1,000 positions, right? You just got to build up that momentum before you start swinging for home runs. But yeah, Jump in the chat room, drop some photos if your prop accounts are looking good. Ooh, yeah, let me jump into the chat room as well here. Wow. Elijah. All right, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna drop this in the chat room. Yeah, like I was saying, this is very textbook. This pullback right here was, I can't even complain about it. I didn't notice that this order block hadn't been retested yet. So when I bought it the first time, it makes sense that price break structure, retest, continue, right? You see how it's funny, right? Like price picks and choose when it wants to break and retest. This breakout could have literally just ran straight to TP. But today it decides I want to retest one time before I can take this high. Telling you guys, like, the markets are weird. So it's like the more you can stick to your rules, the better. Because sometimes it just does stuff for no reason. Like this pullback was unnecessary. You wanted to wick into it one time, whatever. But like I mentioned, if we can get this type of price action where price is very, very clear and it's moving actually towards draws on liquidity, like this was the draw, right? This high was the draw. Price is showing that it really wants that draw. You got one manipulation move here, but when you're trading the breaker, you're not getting stopped out by this, because when this low is taken out, you don't want to trade until price takes this high and then shows you where the structure is, right? We didn't take this high and then just put an order inside of this fair value gap right here. Most people would have did that and got stopped out. Here, you want to see price pull back and show you where the structure is. And clear as day, the bullish structure was right here. We got a small retest here. So this was my first buy here. Got a push, came back to break even. I get out, it retests the order block and then starts to run, and you get another entry there. And that was all she wrote. Nice trade here. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Let me check the news before I get off here. and go from there. Tomorrow is Thursday. All right, yeah. So we have some red news at 8:30. Unemployment claims. So this week is filled. Wow, yeah, this week is loaded. So you can see the volume is very, very consistent so far this week. And as long as we get volume, guys, I encourage you guys to show up every day, optimistic, patient, and very, very surgical, right? Because we should get exactly what we're looking for with these types of conditions. And we have to make it count, right? Because we know that the market can start chopping at any given moment. Typically the first quarter is solid. So the first 4 months, I'm looking to make as much money as possible. And then from there, sometimes the summer can be trash, and then December, end of the year, can be trash. All right. So download that, add this to my notes. It's officially 12 o'clock. Price is still going higher. I think that all-time highs may be hit today, guys. NASDAQ looking good. Everything's looking good, man. I'm actually extremely grateful for the price action so far. All right. Drop this in here, and I will be on my way. Good session. No complaints today at all. Boom, boom. Uh, so yeah, that's in the chat now. Save that. Any questions, just reach out to me as always. You guys stay blessed. Take care. And back tomorrow at, like I said, there's news at 8:30. There's nothing really going on at 10. So I'll be online at like 9:40, 9:45 tomorrow, Eastern time. Alrighty. Later.